Is my child going to make friends? Can I drop the child off and run off? Were all important, and we didn't take that into consideration. The other thing also that we thought would be easy to navigate was the legal environment, because we thought, one, as an attorney, you understand the law, so you can easily make things happen. And once you follow the law strictly, you should be okay. No, what you read in the books and how it works on the ground is very different. So, for instance, I mentioned the fact that we set up an organization with contractors. So we hired individuals and said, well, for the first 6 months, we are hiring you as a contractor so that we will determine after 6 months whether this is sustainable. And legally we could do that, but government agencies came and said, no, it's a school, you have to have them as employee rather than contractors. So suddenly, an entrepreneur who had planned that I'm having a contractor who is going to do their own taxes, who is going to pay their own legal costs and everything, suddenly you're saddled with a cost that you have in mind. Another thing that we thought was, okay, if you're providing the best education, so we're looking for, in our case, in looking for a curriculum, we wanted a curriculum that focused on critical thinking, creativity. We also wanted to be thinkers and individuals who would love science, math, engineering, and technology. So we were borrowing from the principle of STEM, as those of you in the US, for instance, are familiar, US, Canada, and the rest of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And that required some major investment. And with that also, we thought, well, you're doing this, is going to be good. So if you're approaching Cambridge International and you say, this is what I want to do in a community that is not so rich, that we think this will make an impact in education, but the number of students I'm starting with is just literally 5 students, we would expect that Cambridge International will say, oh, based on your number, your accreditation process will be a lot cheaper than a school that has a 1,000 student population. But that wasn't the case. It was like whether you are a 5-student school or a 1,000-student school, you all have to cough up the same thousands of dollars for accreditation. So as an entrepreneur, what I noticed was that, particularly if you are in my part of the world, when you're looking for things like grants, when you're looking for things like government supports, when you're looking for things like maybe funding and all that, it was extremely difficult. And if you wanted this, you wanted to be able to make an impact in education, then you had to be willing to make some investment for individuals, community, government, businesses to see your initial growth before they come in. So right now, come January, we'll be 3 years old. What I've noticed is that people are now approaching us and say, we notice you have these schools, we notice your students are doing well, we notice you're growing, are you looking for investors? We notice that there's this community, would you want to partner and come and do business and come and partner with us so that we can go to this community? And now parents are approaching us and saying, well, you say it's a community school, can we have ownership? So back to my earlier point, even though you have a great heart to start to want to make an impact, just notice that for a significant portion of your startup, you have to be deliberately and focused to achieve results. It comes at a huge price, but once you succeed the first 3 years, I think you're on the track. So right now, I can foresee the growth that is going to happen. I can foresee the impact, and I can foresee that if we continue and we don't deviate from the mission, we can make the impact that we set out to do. So basically, that is my experience as a novice, really, wanting to do good with this great idea of I could bring education to make an impact. That is one of the things that I have learned.
Thanks, Esther. Esther, could you give me an idea, and I think the rest of us are interested too, as to what you would like to see from the E-Club of Social Innovators in terms of support for you, or, you know, to help you with networking, or what is it that you see from a Rotary Club for you?
Right. So in my last presentation, I mentioned several ways in which you could help an Esther or myself. So one of the things I said was that, you know, typically when you go to every country, the government really drives education. So for instance, Rwanda, which many years ago had the genocide, has made immense investments in education. So the president of Rwanda has stated, and I'm certain it's going to happen, that in a few years' time, Rwanda will be exporting the engineers, the teachers, the doctors, the entrepreneurs to other parts of Africa and beyond. And that is because when you go into a Rwandan classroom, what you will see there is comparable to what you will see in Singapore, what you will see in a very good school in Denmark or Finland, where we know they have really good education, right? So you will see that there. So I said, if you are an individual and you have a big pocket, like a Bill Gates, then obviously you want to be able to change, not support government, but change how the government views education. Because if you have that type of influence, then you can say, well, let's focus on critical thinking. Let's focus on changing the curriculum to include entrepreneurship. Now, also, if you are not that big pocket that you can influence, then you notice that, for instance, in Ghana, the private schools make 30% of the individuals who provide access to education. So I'm in that category. Now, one of the problems we face really is support. And by support, it's not just financial. One of them is just knowing what is out there for educational entrepreneurs. So one time, one of my friends in the States mentioned, are you aware that there was a whole website dedicated to grants for entrepreneurs? And I said, no, I didn't know. So I got to find out about the website. Now, here is a challenge. It's even sitting down to help draft those documents, right? Because it's a huge time. It's like constantly looking out, finding it. So it's one, being able to showcase, show an individual like myself, this is what is available. And where possible, if there are individuals who can support in drafting or applying for those grants, those are something that could be done.
Okay, Howard, would you like to say something now? Because, oh, sorry, Esther.
That
sorry, we weren't hearing you, Esther.
Sorry, can you hear me?
We can now. You dropped off for a minute there.
Okay, can I
just repeat what you were saying a second ago? No. You're breaking up. I'm not hearing you. I don't know if others are hearing you, but I am not at the moment. I was just saying to Howard, because of your mention of you know, the network, finding grants and things, and Howard is certainly our expert on those sorts of things. Would you like to comment, Howard?
Sure. I can certainly send to Esther and all members of our club a list of different grant organizations, and especially ones that focus on education and or Africa. There are a lot of Canadian ones. There's a lot that go to SOCAP in California. I'd be happy to furnish that list to the people. There's also an organization called in Washington called The Foundation that lists all the global foundations in the world, It listed by sector and it listed by geography. And I think it's a free website, so you can also check that out yourself. Another thing too, where a club can help, people like Peter, myself, and others. We can help you, proofread your grant application and make some suggestions, if that's of any help too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
One of the things we're thinking of doing with Caitlin's club and our club is, maybe once a month, have a 5 or 10-minute section on like an accelerator program, how to raise money, and go through every month a different section of this to help people put a business plan together, help them put their elevator speech together, help them put a cash flow together, really help them put a proper grant making plan together for them. So that's one of the things Caitlin's club and our club will be discussing in the future.
Okay, thanks, Howard. Howard, Frank wanted to have a word. Go ahead, Frank.
Thank you. Howard and Esther, what I wanted to suggest perhaps may be worth looking into. One of Rotary's most successful literacy and educational programs is in Guatemala, where I believe conditions may be somewhat similar, where perhaps some information may be gathered from how the success of this particular literacy project is, which is a cooperation of private entities, private enterprises, and Rotary. And I don't know that answers all your questions, but I think because of the success of that program, I think last year it received in excess of $400,000 from RI for this particular project in Guatemala. You may find something in there that may be of interest or of help to you. And if you would like, I'll be happy to look for the link and provide that to you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
And you disappeared somewhere.
We've lost your video for the moment, Esther.
Oh, okay.
There she is.
No, okay. Anyway, so Esther, that was just my thought as I was listening to your comments, and again, it's certainly worth looking into it, and then you would be able to determine to what extent, if any, that program or that project could be of help to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have, I guess, Catherine, you have her contact information somewhere that I could, okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
And I think it was on the video from last week.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yes, you're absolutely right. I still have that. I saw it. I mentioned how inspirational your presentation and your work and you are. So I'll try to help by providing you with that link.
Thank you.
And Esther is a member of our club, and as such, she's on our database.
Oh, okay.
So everyone, if they want anyone's details, they're welcome to just get onto the database and have a look and contact them.
Will do.
Okay. Okay, Georgina, do you want to have a word? Need to unmute.
Yeah, no, I got the unmute. Everything's very interesting. Perhaps could we have, I wonder, are there any visuals from Esther, from also Frank, yes, that we could actually put on in terms of content?
Well, last week's video of Esther, but we're running out of time to show a video, but it was sent to you, Georgina, so you would have that.
Yeah, but
And
Hey, can
with
we have you
Frank's
broadcast that?
information, yeah.
He-
Well, what I can do is when I send out this recording, I can also attach Esther's. And if Frank gives me the information, you know, if he wants to give me a link or something, we can put that in the
Yeah, great.
letter as well.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I was really hoping that we would see Emma, but she's struggling to get home in time from work, I think. But just to put you in the picture, we've been attempting to get our online payment system going, and she's still in the middle of doing that. You know, as you might imagine, to remain as a club, we do have to have some funds. So, pardon me. Yeah, so it's just a matter of trying to get the online payment system going and get Emma, who's now our treasurer, to send out invoices and have them paid, because we are attached to Rotary International, and they send us an invoice for our dues twice a year. We've received one in July and we haven't been able to pay it, and we've got another one coming in January, and it's aligned with the number of members we have in the club, and they get that information from our website. And so they sent us an invoice in July based on the 52 members we had on our database. We lost a few of those members after July, and we've gained some. So we're at 44 at the moment, but some of those people are new, and they're not going to be paying, you know, for the past ones. So it's a matter of getting those funds together and paying that invoice so that we can be true to our charter. So Emma, a young person who was in the Rotaract Club, has stepped up to be our treasurer, and she's trying to navigate the financial situation in Toronto, which is surprisingly complicated. And so, you know, we're trying one step after the other at the moment to get this happening. So I was rather hoping that Emma could come on board and say whether she's managed to just get that code to have her enable. You know, she has to link in with the online payment system in order for us as members to go online, click on a link, pay the amount, and it goes straight into our account. On the surface of it, it seems very simple, but in enacting it, it has been extremely complicated. So, you know, we're really a bit concerned at the moment as to whether that's all going to happen. But I don't know. You know, we're now at 9 o'clock. It's now about time to finish up. So we're not going to hear from Emma, and our other board member, Richelieu, is in Liberia, and he texted me earlier to say he was trying to get on board. They always have problems with the internet connection in Liberia, but he's also running a peace symposium, so he's hard at work trying to change the world, so we need to leave him to do that. So is there anything else you'd like to say, Howard, before we wind up?
Two quick things. I don't know the Rotary process for nominating someone to our board. You have to let me know.
Well, I think that will be up to a discussion between you and Gordon and I, because we really need to put it to the board, and we really need to work out how we approach the members on it as well.
Okay.
Okay.
And secondly, Frank, you wanted to talk quickly about your program, or maybe you want to save it for next time because we're almost out of time.
Yeah, sure. And perhaps, how, let's see, am I muted? No. If I may, is maybe share with the members the link to that article that I shared with you in advance, and have the members in Resi have an opportunity to look at it. And then at the next meeting, perhaps we could have a conversation about it. And by that time, there may be members who have read it, had an opportunity to consider it, and whether or not they would have an interest in being involved in a program that focuses on two of Rotary's main focus: conflict prevention and resolution, and water, which I think would be something that we all could align with and support. But rather than talk about it and without anyone really having a background on the information, I think it'd be best for me to send that out to Catherine, and you can sort of share it with the rest of the members, and then we can pick it up at the next meeting. Is that okay?
Sounds
Okay.
good. Thanks.
Thanks, Frank. I think the thing is that any projects have to be put to the board, and we at this stage are trying to get our board together. It's not been easy, and yeah.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and send the link anyway. I am not asking for any commitment. The link is to allow for the members to become involved and to become informed. Then if the members themselves choose not to support it or not to get involved, then that's the end of that discussion.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, we have to have a structured plan to put to them, for them to know what they are getting involved in. That's all. Anyway, that sounds good. Well, without any further, Lisa, did you want to have a quick word?
No, I think the presentation's been great. I mean, I think it's in my history, it's pretty easy to nominate someone for. It's really the club that decides. It's always different, but you guys will figure that out, I'm sure. I certainly look forward to hearing more from Georgina. And again, as I mentioned to Howard, if I can offer any support at all, I'll give you my cell phone, because that's pretty much the easiest way to get in touch with me, depending on what part of the globe you're actually in. It might be it could be simple, it could be complicated. My Wi-Fi's been in and out today, but that's not no big. So don't hesitate to reach out. Howard knows how to get in touch with me, and I know Catherine does as well.
Okay, good. We're trying to get everyone on WhatsApp, and also Emma has just set up our Instagram account. So, and we've got Facebook and LinkedIn that Gordon has been very active on and helping us to get out to people. So we've got a number of ways to communicate, and then we've got the basic website where we've got our database and all our documents and things. So it's a matter of working around all those things, and people like now to be informed in and connected on many different platforms. So it's not any one platform suits anyone anymore. So it becomes a little bit busy trying to find out where everyone is. However, that's all good. So with if you're happy, Howard, we might end this meeting, and if you would like to stay on, and Gordon and Georgina, we might have a quick word about when we can put a board meeting together or something. Okay. So without any more ado, Esther, thank you very much for coming on and for leading us once again in this education discussion. I'm very interested in having more to do with you, and possibly through a Rotary Club here on the ground. So I'll be back in touch about that, and also about the Lisa Imel project. Thank you, Esther.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Peter. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Lisa. See you next time. Okay, I'm trying to, this is where I've got everybody here now. Okay. Frank, you're welcome to stay on if you would like to, but we're just going to have a bit of a quick discussion as to
Yeah,
how...
no, I'll stay on, Catherine.
Okay. Okay, Georgina, would you like to unmute yourself, please?
Yeah, great.
Okay. And Gordon, you can lead this discussion if you like, but from my perspective, I would think that if we're going to nominate Georgina for president-elect, do we do it as, you know, at a board meeting? Do we, you know, publish it to the membership? How do you think we should go about it? Ah, here's Emma. Here's our Emma. Hello, Emma. Now, Emma's a member of the board anyway, so we can just continue on. I'm not seeing or hearing you at the moment, Emma, but what's happening is we've just finished the meeting, and the people on now, Howard, Gordon, and Frank, and myself are here to talk to Georgina, who is online, about her becoming or being nominated for the president-elect position for the E-Club. So as you're a board member, Emma, it's significant for you to be on board as well. Okay, we're not hearing or seeing, but we'll push on. Gordon, what do you think should happen?
Catherine, the usual procedure would be to put the nomination to the board. If the board is in agreement, then you put it for approval at the next members meeting, which I guess would be 2 weeks from now. So basically you need